investigation is underway into what caused a helicopter to spiral out of control and crash in Huntington Beach.
It started as a calm, sun-soaked afternoon in Huntington Beach, a day meant for celebration, families, and clear skies. But in a matter of seconds, that peace shattered into chaos. A helicopter, just moments from touching down, suddenly spun out of control, slamming into the ground in a terrifying crash that left 5 people injured, including a child. As the breaking news alert flashes across the screen, anchors in the studio hand it over to the live report. We're coming to you live from Huntington Beach, where a helicopter has just gone down near the coast. The voice of the reporter trembles slightly as the camera pans to a shocking scene: twisted metal, shattered rotor blades, and emergency crews racing to help. The helicopter came down hard in a parking lot between Pacific Coast Highway and the sandy stretch of beach. Just steps away from families enjoying the weekend, the wreckage rests beside a pedestrian bridge, its tail section crumpled, its body mangled beyond recognition. In the distance, a massive crane rolls in, ready to lift what's left of the aircraft from the pavement. Witnesses describe the moment in disbelief. The aircraft, identified as Isabel 22, had been moments from landing, but instead of a smooth descent, the helicopter began to spin uncontrollably, pieces breaking off midair. One bystander recalls how the rotor blades seemed to shear away, scattering debris before the final impact. Others believe the nearby trees may have softened the blow, preventing an even greater tragedy. As investigators arrive on scene, the questions begin. What went wrong? Why did a routine landing turn into a near disaster? The National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, steps in to lead the investigation, though the process is slowed by a government shutdown. Frustrated but determined, crews secure the area and start collecting evidence while onlookers watch in silence. Former pilot Tim Lance studies the crash footage and offers his expert take. He believes the signs point to a tail rotor system failure, a catastrophic malfunction that can instantly rob a pilot of control. It's like losing your steering wheel and your brakes at the same time, he explains, capturing just how desperate those final moments must have been. This isn't just another news story. It's a powerful reminder of how quickly life can change, even in the calmest moments. The courage of the pilot, the quick response of rescuers, and the resilience of those injured all stand out in the face of tragedy. If stories like this move you, if you believe in the strength of human response and the power of staying informed, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who needs to see it. Because sometimes awareness is what keeps us all safer. Imagine watching a helicopter gliding gracefully through the sky, steady, confident, just moments from landing. Then suddenly, without warning, it begins to twist violently, spinning out of control as if caught in an invisible storm. That horrifying moment, captured on video by bystanders in Huntington Beach, left experts and investigators scrambling for answers. Among those experts is former Sky 5 pilot Tim Lance, a man who has spent countless hours in the air and knows firsthand how fragile that balance between control and chaos can be. As he studies the footage frame by frame, his trained eye catches something most of us would miss: a subtle shift, a sudden change in rotation. Watch closely, he says, pointing to the screen. Right there. When the nose starts to yaw sharply to the right, that's the first sign something's gone terribly wrong. According to Lance, that moment reveals a likely culprit: a tail rotor malfunction. The tail rotor, though small compared to the main blades, is what keeps the helicopter stable, what stops it from spinning wildly. The pilot controls it using pedals, adjusting the aircraft's direction with precise footwork. But in this case, Lance believes those pedals suddenly stopped responding. The pilot's inputs did nothing. The helicopter, robbed of its stabilizing force, began to spiral uncontrollably to the right. And then, something even more catastrophic happened. The tail rotor gearbox, an essential part that transmits power to the tail rotor, appeared to detach from the aircraft. A break in the linkage, perhaps caused by stress or imbalance, sent the system into violent vibration before shearing off completely. The result? A total loss of directional control in midair. Yet even in that chaos, Lance notes something remarkable. The pilot didn't panic. Despite the loss of control, despite the spin and the noise and the terror inside that cockpit, the pilot fought to keep the helicopter upright. Instead of flipping onto its back or crashing nose first, the aircraft came down flat, a feat that likely saved multiple lives. "It's like driving down the freeway and suddenly losing both your steering and your brakes," Lance says. "All you can do is fight to keep it straight until the very end." Now, as crews begin clearing the wreckage from the Huntington Beach parking lot, the investigation continues. The National Transportation Safety Board is combing through every detail, each broken part, every frame of video, to confirm what went wrong. But with the ongoing government shutdown limiting communication, progress is slow and updates are scarce. Still, for those who saw the crash and those who barely survived it, one truth stands clear: that pilots' calm under impossible pressure turned what could have been a total catastrophe into a story of survival. If you found this analysis as fascinating as it is sobering, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more in-depth breakdowns, and share it to spread awareness about aviation safety. Because understanding what went wrong today could save lives tomorrow. It started as an ordinary afternoon on the Huntington Beach coastline, families strolling, kids laughing, waves crashing in the distance. But within seconds, that peaceful hum of beach life turned into screams and disbelief. Dozens of beachgoers froze in shock as a helicopter suddenly spiraled out of the sky. Several people instinctively pulled out their phones, capturing the terrifying moment it began to spin, tilt, and crash into the pedestrian bridge near the sand. The footage is chilling, each rotation faster than the last, metal debris glinting in the sunlight before vanishing in a plume of dust and splintered rotor blades. You can hear it in the voices of those recording, their gasps, their trembling words, and the one phrase that echoed through every clip: "Oh my God." When the aircraft hit, chaos erupted. But amid the panic, something incredible happened. People ran toward the wreckage, not away from it. Strangers, surfers, joggers, and bystanders sprinted across the lot to help. They climbed through twisted metal and rising smoke, pulling 2 victims from the crushed helicopter before emergency crews even arrived. Others rushed to assist 3 more people injured on the ground, including a young child, until paramedics could take over. 5 lives hung in the balance that day. 2 from inside the helicopter, 3 innocent bystanders caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. All were rushed to nearby hospitals. Their names and conditions haven't been released. But the images of that scene are burned into the minds of everyone who witnessed it. For many in Huntington Beach, this wasn't just an accident, it was a moment that shattered the ordinary. A place known for sunshine and surf became, in an instant, the site of tragedy. The next morning, as the wreckage still lay near the pedestrian bridge, people returned not for recreation, but for reflection. Some brought flowers. Others stood silently, replaying those horrific seconds in their minds. Local investigators and the NTSB continue to examine the wreck, searching for answers, but for the community, the emotional toll lingers. Beachgoers who were there say they can still hear the sound of the impact, still see the helicopter spinning against the bright blue sky. And maybe that's what makes moments like this so powerful, the way they remind us how fragile life is, how quickly everything can change. If this story moved you, take a moment to honor the bravery of those who rushed to help. Hit the like button, subscribe for more updates, and share this video to spread awareness. Because sometimes the most extraordinary stories come from ordinary people who choose to act when it matters most. It was supposed to be a day of excitement, a weekend filled with roaring engines, gleaming cars, and spectacular aircraft displays. The annual Cars and Copters event in Huntington Beach had drawn families, photographers, and aviation fans from across Southern California. But instead of the hum of celebration, the sound that filled the air was a chilling one, the scream of a helicopter spinning out of control. Moments before impact, that same helicopter, scheduled to be part of the show, never made it to its landing zone. Instead, it came crashing down in the very parking lot where people were set to gather just hours later. In the aftermath, the scene was heartbreaking. The helicopter's body twisted and mangled, debris scattered across the pavement, and emergency crews working frantically among the chaos. Police quickly sealed off the area, yellow tape fluttering in the coastal wind as investigators and firefighters moved in. The once vibrant event space became a crash site, quiet except for the mechanical hum of cleanup crews. A large crane soon rolled in, its arms stretching high above the scene, ready to lift what was left of the helicopter's frame. Every movement was deliberate, careful, almost reverent, as if everyone there understood the weight of what had happened. Meanwhile, the FAA and NTSB launched a joint investigation into the cause of the crash. Their teams examined every piece of wreckage, every fragment of metal and wiring, searching for the answer to what went so catastrophically wrong. But their progress has been slow. A government shutdown has left official communication lines limited, leaving both the media and the public anxiously waiting for updates. Still, in the midst of tragedy, the human spirit shows itself. The organizers of the Cars and Copters event took to social media with heartfelt messages, expressing their deepest prayers and sympathy for the victims and their families. They thanked first responders for their courage and asked the community to come together in support. And perhaps the most surprising part? Despite the heartbreak, the event itself is still set to continue, just down the road. Not as a celebration this time, but as a tribute. A way for the community to gather, to honor those affected, and to remind one another that life, even in the face of tragedy, must go on. This moment has become more than a headline. It's a reflection of how a community can find strength in sorrow, hope in heartbreak, and unity in uncertainty. If you believe in honoring resilience and community spirit, take a second to like this video, subscribe for more real stories that matter, and share this with someone who could use a reminder that even in the darkest moments, people still come together.